Okay, sorry about once again failing to stick to my schedule, but I didn't. I was doing stuff yesterday and I set aside a bit of time to record this, but I realised that I needed to look up a bit more, otherwise, it was too rambly. So I'm working with a few notes again. I have the program, so I can attempt to say some of these names. I'm sorry if I failed them miserably. Um, but yeah, also, I know I don't review a lot of musicals or even theatre productions on this channel. In fact, I never have. And I do see quite a bit at the West End. I have seen most of the stuff on there. However, normally I'm not really inspired to talk about it in review form on the channel. I don't know why, I'm just not. Like, I saw The Woman in Black a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I enjoyed it. But all I would have really ended up talking about in that review is how interesting I find the idea of doing horror on stage productions. I think that's an interesting thing, but that's besides the point. So, however, after seeing, I was going to call it Les Mis, after seeing Miss Saigon, I I don't know why, I just really felt like recording a review and kind of talking about some of the weaknesses of a lot of stage productions put on. However, that sounds really negative to start with, so obviously I'm going to start with the positives. Okay, so first of all, Miss Saigon has, in my opinion, some of the best singing of the whole, of pretty much everything I've seen at the West End. It was certainly all live, I believe, at the time, and it really showed because it had this great emotional core to the singing without becoming just the people shouting at themselves, which is very important because sometimes some musicals fall into that, or they have the reverse where they've got very good singing but there's no real raw emotion behind it. Whereas in this, damn, so some of the songs really kind of hit you, and it's like, ooh, that is emotional. Oh wow, well done. I really loved all the singing in this. And all the songs are very well written. I really like a lot of the songs, and this is so far the only Western musical where I've actually gotten the soundtrack they do on the CD and put that on my iTunes because I really like quite a few of the songs in this and wanted to listen to them again afterwards, especially with this recording because, yeah, getting into that, there is a lot of really, really great acting in this, or great singing. It's still acting. Uh, like, all of the leads are really good. Like, obviously, the main lead is Eva Noblezada. Sorry. She is, in my opinion, stunningly good in this. She is just really brilliant in this. She has this great emotional, or she brings this great emotional core to the character of Kim, which is very important because she is our protagonist. So if I don't care about her, well, Miss Saigon would kind of fail on every level. However, she really does manage to hold it up. Considering this is her first West End role, according to the programme, wow, she is really good. She manages to carry the whole show. Not that it needs carrying. Yeah. Um, Alistair Brammer as Chris, who is main male lead, I suppose, kind of. And he's surprisingly good, because often I find with West End musicals, the weakest part really is the male lead. Like, it's hard to I don't know if it's hard to write for them or whatever, but it's something about it, it's just really hard to get the male vocals right, because either they aren't that great at singing, or they can just sound kind of, I don't know, not emasculating, but you know what I mean. Considering it was GIs and Marines singing some of the songs, I wasn't sitting there going, Jesus, this is ridiculous. No, actually, I was really invested in all of it, which surprised me, because that was my biggest thing going into it. I was like, a Vietnam War musical? Can you pull this off? But yeah, the emotional singing from everyone really manages to carry it through. Even the comedic relief is brilliant in this movie. I probably have done that earlier. Sorry if I call it a movie. Even the comedic relief is brilliant in this production. Jon Jon Briones as the engineer, he's hilarious. He's one of my favourite West End characters I've seen, and he's surprisingly well developed. Like, I'm actually interested in his character and his opinions on certain things, and he managed to be more than just, oh, that guy's on stage, he's funny, I like him. No, he managed to also be an interesting character, which is a strength of this, that even the small parts are really well developed, I feel, for the most part. I'll get onto that. But yeah, he's great. He gets a lot of screen time, a lot of stage times, whatever. He gets a lot of time on stage, so it's kind of important that I like him, and I really did. He's brilliant, and I can see why often he's kind of top billed, because he almost steals the show. However, the two leads do manage to stop him from doing that, because they are really good. Getting into the smaller parts, Hugh Maynard as John, quite a small role, but I still really liked him. It was interesting seeing his character arc, seeing where he is during the Vietnam War and after it. It was interesting, and I wasn't sitting there going, I'm watching a completely different character. And they managed to communicate to the audience what changed within him between Vietnam and post-Vietnam. And I could really see how that changed him. Then Kwang-Ho Hong as, I think it's Thuy, I can't remember off the top of my head how to pronounce his name. He essentially has the Javert role of this. However, he's a better developed character than Javert, and it gets like an eighth of the screen time of Javert, which is peculiar, but yeah, he manages to bring the right amount of dimension to the character while still being, I wouldn't say entertaining, because I don't like the character in the sense that he's a villain. He manages to be interesting still. I was interested when he was on stage. I keep saying screen. Then the only other part I'm going to mention is, I'm not sure if it's Rachelle Ann Go as Gigi. And she has a really, really small part. However, she manages to be really interesting in this tiny amount of time we get to know her. I won't say I want a spin-off or whatever, but I kind of want to see where her character had gone later on. She was kind of, I can't think of the words without just quoting other reviews I saw, but or read, because they had all the quotes up. Yeah, she really brought this darkness, kind of inner darkness, to the role, whilst still being more than just, oh, poor me. Yeah, she was really, really good in this, and yeah, surprisingly made it to one of my favourite characters, despite the fact she's not in any of the top billings. She's not on the first 2 pages of the programme where they list off the main cast. She's in with the other cast members, which is weird considering she does at the end walk out on stage on her own, not in a group like all the main cast. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, she was really good in this. So that's all the cast I'm going to talk about. They were all superb and stunning, and some of the best cast I've seen at the West End. I'm going to say that. I really, really loved this. Um, and it is made by the same people that made Les Misérables, and in my opinion, it improves on I'll get to that, every flaw that Les Mis had. Uh, the suddenly falling in love makes sense in this. Whilst once again it's in a short amount of time, it really feels like it's born out of desperation. So it makes more sense than, oh, I saw a pretty girl in Paris today, and it's like, what? That's kind of weird. Whereas in Miss Saigon, you really feel that everything's broken in Saigon, and they manage to find each other and fall in love. And I actually bought it rather than going, yeah, this is kind of kids filmy. Really, that much time, and you really do get a sense of their love through songs such as The Confrontation, a part of it, not to be confused with The Confrontation from Les Mis, uh, Why God Why, This Money's Yours, Sun and Moon. I kind of bought it all, which surprised me considering, yeah, the love aspect can be quite weak sometimes in these. It also manages to improve upon how the antagonist, kind of the Javert character, really doesn't have a good reason for pursuing the protagonist. Like in Les Mis, it's like, sure, he's a criminal, but he's not like a murderous rapist or anything. He's just a guy. Whereas in this, it's, oh, he's obsessed with her. That's why Thuy is coming after Kim. That made sense. That really worked and improved the character and made him way more interesting in the tiny amount of screen time he got. Um, it's also got great production values, despite the fact there's really not a single battle scene. Like, it's nowhere near as battle heavy as Les Mis is. However, I found it more engaging. I wasn't bored. I was never bored in Miss Saigon. I wasn't bored in Les Mis, but that kind of shows, doesn't it? Les Mis didn't bore me, but that had a lot of battle scenes, and that's one of the reasons I like Les Mis, because I find it entertaining to watch. Whereas Miss Saigon has none of that and manages to get by on characters alone, because all the characters are really, really good in this. Hopefully I've gotten that across to you. So the only con I'm going to mention in detail without going into spoilers is the one thing they don't fix from Les Mis, the love triangle. It's awful in this. It's even worse than Les Mis. And Les Mis has a really bad love triangle. But in Miss, I just can't feel for the other party, but I'm meant to is the problem. Like the third part of the love triangle, the other woman. Ellen, she's played by Tamsin Carroll. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And it's not performed badly. I want to make that clear. She is very good at singing, but I just don't feel anything towards her really, and that's kind of a problem. And that really kind of kills the ending for me, which I'm not going to get into because I don't want to provide spoilers to you guys. However, I will get after it after I give my recommendation, which, yeah, I highly, highly, highly recommend Miss Saigon. I think it's brilliant. Really, really good. If you're seeing something at the West End, I recommend seeing it with this before they change the cast, because I loved pretty much every member of the cast here. I wouldn't have switched out anyone, really. I really liked them all. So, yeah, try and see it before the cast changes, I'd recommend. I don't know what the next cast will be like, but yes, it's really, really good. Go and see it, please. Oh, one final thing before spoilers. I don't know I've heard they've changed some songs from it originally. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that version, so I can't compare the two. That's just, yeah, my opinion is that I love this. I'm sorry. Well, and yeah, if it's actually, hang on, if this is weaker than the original version, then wow, the original version must be bloody perfect, because this is very damn close. So, spoilers, please leave if you've not seen it. I don't care if you're not even planning on seeing it. You may at some point. Please don't listen to spoilers. Okay, spoiler time. So, the ending. Every West End non-comedy has to end on some degree depressingly. Every single one, unless it's a comedy. Like, it can kind of have a positive or hopeful note, but it will be depressing. Okay, that's one of the weaknesses of everything at the West End. Like, I can't think of one non-comedy at the West End that doesn't end on a depressing note. Even if it does have a hopeful tinge, it will still be depressing. And it really doesn't work in Miss Saigon. Because I don't care about Ellen. I'm sorry, I don't. She has no stage time compared to Kim. Like, none. Like, a teeny, tiny amount. And therefore, it just really doesn't work. Because when Chris is trying to choose between the two of them, I'm just sitting here going, choose Kim. Kim is perfect. How are you? Oh, how can he not choose Kim? How? Like, I don't care. Oh, he's married to Ellen. He was going to get married to Kim. He was close enough to being married. And I don't care how much more time he had with Ellen. In what we see, it's clear or at least in the scenes with Kim earlier on, he seems to love her more than he loves Ellen. Because the songs between them are stronger, more emotional, and better. And even when he's trying to convince Ellen that he doesn't love Kim, the song really, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it works. I'm sat there going, yeah, the way you sang about that, I feel that shows his love for Kim more than Ellen. And, I mean, let's face it, every I don't know if it's every night, but a lot of nights after, he left Vietnam, who did he have nightmares about and wake up screaming her name? Kim, not Ellen. Okay? He woke up screaming for Kim, not Ellen. Okay? And yeah, he obviously he has the kid with Kim. And just the love triangle doesn't work, and therefore its attempt at a sad ending doesn't work, because it ends before it properly ends. It ends when Kim's story ends, but there's so many loose ends, and obviously there's not a sequel, because how can you do a sequel? So it's like, what? Yeah, doesn't work. Sorry. Like, once again, the character of Gigi? Gigi? Yeah, it's Gigi. She is way more developed than Ellen, and has, like... Actually, I wonder if she has about the same screen time, because Ellen isn't really in this a lot. So yeah, that's my problem. The ending doesn't work, because I only care about Kim and Chris. Maybe it wouldn't have been so bad if Ellen had left. She'd seen Kim and Chris are in love, and she'd let them go and live with their child. But no, we have to end on a depressing note. Doesn't work. Sorry, you can't. First of all, you can end on a happy note. More than just a hopeful note, a genuinely happy ending. That would have been marvellous. I get you can't do that because you made Les Mis, which is obviously all about the depressing moments, but come on, just please. Kim suffers so much to meet Chris again, and it really just makes Chris look like a dick. Sorry, it does, and just yeah, this is the main reason I wanted to do this review, because yeah, sorry, the ending doesn't work. It's still, in my opinion, the best show at the West End, because it doesn't fall apart until the ending and the love triangle. But yeah, that really was a shame that it fell apart there, because I loved this. Okay, I want to see it again, and I only just saw it. Like, damn. like, if they adapt this into a movie, I would actually want them to change some things. I would want them to change the ending, especially, and fix the love triangle. Sorry, Ellen, you give her more screen time, or just have her leave. One or the other, in my opinion. So, yeah, that was my review of Miss Saigon. Something a little bit different. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not going to be a usual thing. I'm not going to review a lot of shows, because often I don't feel like talking about them. It's only because I want to talk about the ending and the weakness of it, as well as just how bloody amazing the rest of it is, though. Like, please go and see this. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't know what I'm going to review next week. So yeah, have a pleasant day, guys.